All right. I think we're in business here. I think we are. Welcome, Jesper. Welcome, Gunner. Welcome, Bill. It's going to be a little bit of a different show today, but isn't it always? I mean, really. Oh, we forgot something here. Let's see. Where is the lower third? Can we do that? Can we put that back on there? Ticker. There we go. Boy, just such a fun program, vMix. Gee whiz. The perfect tool for almost any job. Yeah, so today is sort of the continuing saga of Chinese controllers made by a company called TYST that, yeah, is interesting to say the least. But I don't want to get into that now because then I'll get into, my stuff. I do want to check a setting here real quickly while we're, excuse me, warming up. Yeah. So I want to do, which camera do I want to do? Let's do the P120. Will it do that? Move left. And then we need to get it to stop moving. And that's the P120. What we need to do is to get this to automatically update. Let's try. All right, so we're going to move left. It doesn't move left. Okay. We will, I was working with this one right here, trying to get this guy to do something, to move a camera. And, oh, what did I do? I did something. I went home. Because this camera's in preview, it'll do the home thing. But why won't it do the rest of the control? Interesting. Well, anyway, we'll get to that. Yeah. Audio is low. Okay. Yeah, that probably means we've gone back to our pre-settings. Let's see if we can bump that up a little bit. EQ. Boom. See if that helps any. Chop 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Yeah, that should have added a little bit more on the low end, but it might have increased the volume as well. But let's go back into add just a tad of gain. 2 decibels of gain. Is that better? Although, one of the things that I've noticed, the older I get, much better. Good. Much better. The older I get, the lower the lower the volume of my voice gets. And I noticed it with my mom as she aged, as she got softer and softer and softer. And I'm wondering if that's what's beginning to happen to me, or am I just more chill than ever before? We'll see. One of the things I like, though, that's fun, and you can't really see it well. If I move the keyboard, you can. There are 2 sliders here. One's for program, actually, which I have keyed into my mic, and the other's for master. So I can actually cut the volume of my, down to nothing. So that'll be helpful in the event I have a sneeze. I guess I should have a button, but we'll see. Yeah, let's see. Did I put this guy back in the right place? Let's preview number 7. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. I'll come back right over here a little bit more. I've got different keys set up, and I'm actually trying to use this controller to do all this stuff. So I've got 12 inputs selected here. Number 11 is not really doing anything, so that's okay. Yeah. So we'll see how all this works out. I'm also doing a multi-view today on the big TV in front of me, which I don't normally do. And so I've got 16 inputs in front of me. The first 12 are actually keyed to the keyboard. I guess it would be helpful if you could see me. There we go. There we go. I was just talking into space. Just talking into space. Back when I was in college, 100,000 years ago, there was I took a class on writing short stories. And one of the fun things about the class is, of course, that we got to write short stories. But the professor kind of cautioned us against, just starting out the story in the middle of nowhere without anybody knowing anything, which he called the hobos in space opening, which is hobos in space. Yeah, didn't make any sense, but that was the whole idea. Don't write in a way that doesn't make sense. Give your reader the opportunity to have some idea what's going on. Sandy, my wife, and I have this discussion frequently when one or the other of us will simply start into the middle of a conversation. Maybe it's a conversation that we had 3 days ago, but I might start into it as like, we're still in the middle of the conversation. She'll look at me and it's like, what? Yep, it's hobos in space. So I'm trying not to be hobos in space with you guys today. That's the purpose of that little diatribe. I'm pretty excited because I am expecting. Why did my little thing stop? Oops. Need to turn that rascal down, don't I? Where is the lower third? There it is. And why did it stop? It shouldn't ever stop. Oh, it says automatically pause after transition. Well, I'm just going to uncheck that. There we go. There we go. All right, well, we're getting ready for showtime here, but I got to check one quick thing because I am expecting a delivery of a computer case, customized for me. Actually, 10 of them. And so we'll see. It says out for delivery. It says delivery by 7 o'clock. So that's not very helpful. Okay. All right, let's do one other thing here. Let's see if we can plug this guy into some power. Apparently he didn't get any power overnight. There we go. All right. And I was doing a Windows update on my Microsoft Surface there, but it says you don't have enough space, so we'll see how that goes. All right, so let's get the show going. I have a button for that, and let's see. Let's go to number 7, and the button I've set up for that is this F1 button. And I'm sorry these don't appear. It's just it's hard to focus at this level. So let's try the show. what can I say? This is good stuff. This is good stuff. I am still appreciative to Martin Kay for the intro there. That goes back. I've got to check one day and see how far that goes back. Anyway, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Today we are talking about the TYST TY-1500 HD, which is this little guy right here, and I am going to make this guy bend to my will. So he didn't bend to my will last time I tried him, but now I'm older, older and wiser, shall we say. Let's see if we can go there. That'll go to that one. There you are. There you are. So you've got me in the shot just a little bit. Hello, Mike. Welcome. Mike says 10 years on the video. I don't think. Do you think? We can go back and check. We can go back and check. Coming up next month, actually, is the 13-year anniversary of this show. In July, we will have been doing this show continually for 13 years. 13 years. Holy cow. I think Mike Latta was here for the very first one. Anyway, so we've got this controller. This is the TYST TY-1500HD. It's a MIDI keyboard, but it has some, can you call them quirks? Can you call them features? Some of these buttons are, or maybe all of these buttons. Now, maybe, yeah. I think these buttons are hardwired to particular notes. Well, of course, all keyboards are hardwired to particular notes. But some interesting things about this keyboard, if you haven't seen it before, is it's got 12 rows here of preview, 12 for program, and 12 for overlays for down DSK. At the end of each row is a shift button, and that shift button allows you to now have, instead of 1 through 12, we now have 13 through 24. Now, the way my system is set up, 14, which would be 13, 14, right here would be, and we'll just go straight to it. Boom, it's this shot. It's, oh, sorry. No, I can't do that, can I? Let's go back here. It's that shot, which is a mix, which isn't anything in particular. So we'll go off the shift and we'll go back here. There we go. So yeah, that was an exercise in frustration. Let's go back here for just a second. There we go. So we're trying to use this guy and make him work. The way my vMix setup is set up is I've actually got, one sec. Oh, goodness. I've got inputs 1 through 12 set up, and that will automatically take these two rows from 1 through 12. So if I hit the one key's in preview right now, which is this guy. That was a preview. And so now he's in program, and number 6 is in preview. Number 6 is in preview, just went to program. And I was using the T-bar there because it was handy. It was easy to get to. The shift keys, as I was just mentioning, give you 13 through 24, but it doesn't really help because unless you've written the number down on the button, it's like, okay, so this is number 15, so this should be number 3 on the shift. And so by the time you do all that, the moment has passed. But still, I like the idea. I like the idea. And there are times when, it would work. Currently, I've got a vMix multi-view set up in front of me. It's a custom multi-view, so it's showing 16 inputs. Now I've got inputs 1 through 12, which are right here, showing up in front of me. And then I picked out a couple of others that I just customized. So for example, slot number 15 in the multi-view is actually filled with the chat. So I can see what you guys are adding as the chat. Now it's pretty small, and if I look at it, I mean, you tell me. I'm looking at the camera, now I'm looking at the chat. I guess there's a little bit of a difference between me and between looking at the camera and looking at you and looking at the chat, but it's not bad. It's not bad. All right, so going back to this keyboard for a second, I guess I could have a camera on that and you could see what I was talking about. That's all right. That's not what we're talking about today. So we're talking about bending this guy to our will. And I've realized I can live with inputs 1 through 12 right here. I'm going to have to reprogram this DSK level right here. For example, if I want it to do something as an overlay, if I hit the 1 button right now, it's just going to overlay input 1 over everything. And so, you know, this is input 1, but it's an overlay. It's not a cut. It's not technically going to program. It's only going to program as an overlay. So I'm going to unoverlay it. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to set that to my lower third. So let's go into desktop capture for a second, which actually ought to be one of my buttons, but isn't. But we'll just cut over to that. And yeah, and let's bring the big version of this keyboard. I think it's number 6. No, it's number 7. So let's put 7 there so you can see more easily. So we're going to go to settings. And we're going to, oh, by the way, did you know there's a back door into shortcuts? You hit this little view shortcuts button over here. It'll let you view all your shortcuts in the web browser. There are a ton of them. Or you can edit, and that'll take you kind of straight in the back door. So I want to find this button right here. It is number 1 on the DSK level, so it's number 54, 154. And unfortunately, vMix is broken right here, and it doesn't find number 54. Let's see if we can find it by hand. Preview input, active input. Number 54, there it is right there. All right, so number 54 is going to be overlay input 1, and we want to overlay Tom's lower third, number 11. That's good. So we got that, boom, boom, we're good. So if we come back to me right here, this may get a lower third that comes onto it. Let's just let's go to this other one. This one doesn't have a lower third attached to it. So if I hit, well, you can't see. You can see now. If I hit this guy right here, it's going to give us my lower third. There you go. Now it doesn't turn the light on because we have to change the activator. So let's take that off and let's go change the activator. I ought to bring, yeah, let's be crazy. And I want to take the desktop capture and I'm going to make it number 11 so that I can see it more easily. And I'll take that pre-show and make it number 12. There we go. So number 11 is the desktop capture. So let's go to number 11, desktop capture. There we go. And let's preview number 7 so you can see the button. Oh, look at this. This is working. All right, so we're going to go into, I guess we'll go into settings to get to activators. There's activators. And we want to find this button right here, 154, channel 1, number 54, and it found it this time. All right, and it says that it's assigned to the main shot because it's assigned to the activator by input number. So let's take that off and let's go down and find number 11. No, number 13 right there. So let's see if this works, if we've changed it, number 13, and we'll overlay it. And it didn't overlay. Something's overlaying. Oh, desktop capture's overlaying. Interesting. Okay. Let's go, oh, you know what? Let's go back to settings, check shortcuts, find 154, which it won't find for some reason. And it's going to be down here, like right there. And what we need to do is, yeah, we're going to assign this to me, the lower third, all the time. So that's always, no matter where this lower third locates, it's there. So let's try that. And then we'll look, double check in activators to see if we've got the right one. Tom's lower third, yep. And it looks like it's, ooh, looks like I'm I'm there lots of different places. Oh, I see, okay. Gotcha. We're not gonna worry about that right now. So let's just see if Tom's lower third pops up. There we go. And our light turns color and it goes away. Great, great. Now that was DSK1 right here, downstream keyer 1, which would be this guy right there. So let's change over to downstream keyer 2 and see if it works again. So we'll go there. Nope, wrong assignment. And we'll take it off. So the DSK2 now, you see about bending this thing to your will? Let's go to shortcuts, and we'll just scroll down because we know we can't find it. Tom's lower third is 151, and that's DSK1. So DSK2, we need to change to Tom's lower third, and we won't assign it to an input number. And while we're here, we're going to take DSK3 and change that to Tom's lower third, and DSK4. See what I mean by changing it to, and now, do we have to change the activators? Let's see. Find note 254. Okay, note 254, yeah, it says main shot. So let's go back and change that. So this can take a little while if you want to assign this and make it the way you want. So we're going to make that one 13. Now, I don't know if this is the way we would do it. I was talking with Greg the other day about this, and he said he finally just reconfigured the keyboard to do what he wanted it to do. But it is nice that it comes out. Let's see. All right, so we've got DSK2, lower third, on, off, 3, lower third, on, off, 4, lower third, on, off. And I don't know that we've set up the preview. Let's see if the preview works. Nope. Preview doesn't work. So we need to go in and set up the preview buttons now for that one channel. So let's find shortcuts. And this is DSK preview, where previously 154, Tom's lower third, that's DSK1, and then preview DSK1 needs to be set to Tom's lower third. Now the fact that this is already kind of pre-programmed for us does make it a little easier, because all we have to do is go in and edit it. But if I were doing it from scratch, I would probably make a listing of everything I wanted to do and where it needed to go before I did much. Because I can see where editing could get a little tedious and prone to mistakes. For example, I've done preview DSK 1.1, 2.1, 3.1, 4.1, but if I was just kind of on a roll, I could come in and accidentally do this one as well. So don't do that. So let's change that. While we're at it, though, let's make sure that this guy is set for sharpen. No, he's not. That'll make it a little clearer for you. All right, so now I'm going to hit the preview button, number 1. That should make it show up in this window here in the top left corner. There we go. Turn it off. And then what about, oh, and when I turned it off, it went live. Look at that. On. Now we're back to preview 1. So we go back there. And if I cut to live at this point, we'll just cut to live. And it'll take the lower third with me. And if I go back, the lower third's stuck there, and I don't have a way to get rid of it. Can I preview it? Yeah, I've previewed it now. And if I turn off the preview, which you wouldn't ever do, it's going to go live. Nope, this time it didn't go live. So off, on. Nope, this time it went live. Take it off. Now we're back in live mode, no matter what we do. So we're in preview on our downstream keyer, and button number 1, even though it's live right here, it's there, the button is not illuminated. So if we press that, the button is still not illuminated, but it goes away, and we're still in preview. Mash it one more time, comes back to preview. The button is lit. The button is still lit, and now it's in program. Press it again, it turns off. Press it again, it comes on. Interesting that the shift button pops on here too. So something is going on in the electronics of the keyboard to make things go. Interesting, interesting, interesting. I agree, Mike, you do need a setup with a mute button. Currently, I've got this program slider set for my audio. So I can go 3, 2, 1, 0, and it didn't work, did it? How about that? It worked a little while ago. Interesting. What if I pull down the master? 3, 2. Yeah, the master went down, but for some reason, the program on the slider program didn't work. All right, so we're in preview 1. We want to turn it off, and instead it goes live, and the shift button comes on. So this now becomes button number 13. Let's find out what button number 13 is in our shortcuts. So we're going to find, this is channel 1, note 105. And that's going to be down here somewhere. 105 right there. Yep. So this is, oh, it just happens to be number 13. So there you go. We need to change that to something else. But why does the shift button come on? Why are we getting an automatic shifting to shift? Because there's no relationship, or there shouldn't be any relationship between number 1, button number 1 right here, and button number 13. I guess we need to separate that by moving, let's take that out for a second, and let's move Tom's lower third to number 14. So now it's number 14. If we go into settings and go into the shortcuts, scroll down to that section, and now 14 is Tom's lower third, and 13 is just the 13th input, which is the, I'll show you what that is. That is actually, that's the chat. So yeah, so let's go ahead and we can see an answer. We can see a question. Yes, we can see a question. But what in the world? Oh, I'm on shift. That's why. Shift suddenly turned itself on. Shift, shift. Okay, so all our shifts are off. And we've got number 11, which is the desktop capture in program. Number 7, which is this keyboard in preview. And number 1 over here as our overlay. And it is currently set up in program. So we're going to turn it off. There we go. We're going to go back to preview, and we're going to preview it here. The shift button has turned itself on at this point. And we are now in number 2. No explanation as to why that's the case. Unless, is there a trigger that's doing something? Nope, no triggers. What else is this button doing? So we'll take it out of shift, and now it wants to go to program. We'll take it out of program, and it's now back into shift. Interesting, interesting. So not reliable here on this second row, or else I don't know what the formula is. Welcome, Otis and OG. Glad you guys are here. So what we're struggling with is, let's go out of shift, we'll go into preview, and we'll preview this lower third. And that shows up over here like it should. If I were to go to program on that, I'll just press it again. Nope, didn't do anything. Let's try again. Preview. And now the shift has come on all by itself. We'll turn it off. Now that sends it to program. We can turn it off. And now when we press it again, we've gone into a shift mode again. So we're not really sure. So if I hit shift again, I mean, if I hit this 1 button, which is now 13 because we're in shift, we'll get that. We'll take that out. Go figure. Something is crazy, crazy. So this DSK line is, I guess I need to go through and configure the rest of these. But it's still, if I configure one, it should still do that one all by itself. This is kind of cray-cray. Well, let's try DSK for preview. Let's see if that makes any difference if we go to a different one of those buttons. So we got 1, and now we're back into shift mode again. Let's try DSK2 preview. So we're good, but we're in shift mode. Take it out, DSK, and let's take that off. Can we take it off? It's on number 4 right now, so let's take it off of 4. There we go. And let's put it on preview 3 on 1, and we've got shift. We can turn it off. We may go live, turn it off live. What if we try to put it on 1 directly? And we go into shift mode. Isn't that cray-cray? All right, let's turn off shift mode, go back to 1. We're going to put it on overlay number 4. There it is, and we're back in shift mode again. What if we change it to, say, 5 in shift mode? And then we'll turn off shift mode. Yeah, stays with shift 2. Whatever it does, it stays with shift 2. So somehow either I'm not understanding this correctly, this whole row, or it is malfunctioning. Probably both would be my guess. All right, so we'll leave that row again, and we'll have to ponder that one some more. A nice set of menu buttons up here. Stream works as stream. It will turn the stream off and on, but if you've got, thank you, Mike, if you've got more than one streaming destination set up, it will stream to all your destinations. It doesn't have the ability to choose. And it doesn't appear in vMix that you can disable. Well, we're still here. Let's look at the stream button here. We can see we're going to YouTube right now. That's number one. Number two is Facebook. We're not going to Facebook. We did that as kind of a preview earlier. And then 3, 4, and 5 are not set up with anything. So I can't have this set up and then disable it, but leave it set up, but it's just disabled. Unlike, let's see, save and close. We can't see the record settings right here, but essentially we have one record set up, but you know how you can enable a second one? But when you can either enable it or not enable it, but it'll already be set up. The stream should be the same way. That would be consistent. That would be a good idea. All right, so let's see. So we've got the stream button. Excuse me. We've got the stream button that I should have been talking about, and the record button. And then external simply turns on external in vMix. Now there's no external right now. Boom, there we go. These buttons down here have to do with, I guess, either a playlist or a list, because it allows you to go backwards, to stop or start. I guess it could be a video. Do we have a video that we can put up here real quickly? Let's see. Let's add an input, a video input, and we'll get the dancing furry guy. Here he is. And if we put him in output, can we pause him? Doesn't appear to make an effect on a video. So it's not going to work with a video. Well, that's okay. That's good to know. Nope. It started him in preview, and it stopped him in preview. Doesn't do anything but start and stop, and that doesn't appear to work in program. But then again, well, let's stop it in program. Let's restart, okay, and see if we can start it in program. Nope, can't start it in program. Can't start it in program. And let's see, which one do we want here? We want number 7 right there. Yep. So what I was doing was I was mashing this button off and on. And if I hit it now, you'll see that this guy right now will begin to dance. He has to be in preview to dance. Let me put him in preview for just a second. There we go. And you can see I can make him dance and I can make him stop. When he goes live, if he's not doing anything, I can turn him on, but I can't turn him off using any of these buttons while he's in program. All right, so we've got our transition effects, and these will take place immediately. Like, well, no, I take that back. I think these are just settings. Let's try this one right here. Yeah, that just changed the settings so that when I do a T-bar or even an auto, it will do that effect. So there we go there. We'll do the same thing with T-bar, and it has that same effect. And the T-bar, even though I'm pushing it up and down, it goes up all the time, because that's what that particular transition effect does. So let's go back here. That's what that transition effect does. All right, so we have our transitions, and I think we can reprogram these to be whatever we want. Of course, the buttons are always going to stay the same. That's the only downside to it. We know about our DSKs and their relationship to this third row. We've got 6 buttons here right next to the T-bar, so we know that those are kind of, you know, what are you going to do live kind of things. So we've got a mix button, and I'm not sure what this mix button is going to do. So let's go into shortcuts and see if we can find it. It's number 93. And where is number 93 on this list? Probably at the end of all these overlays and preview overlays. Still going through them. Nope, that's our PTZ button there. Those are the two buttons that I've programmed for F1 and F2, 99 and 101. But we're looking for 93, so let's go back up through those. And do we see a 93? There's a 96, fade to black. Oh, we're getting close. So 93 is currently set for a fade. So that's what that's going to do. 94, which is Stinger 1, is going to do Stinger 1. 95 is Stinger 2. It's going to do Stinger 2. And I think if these, move that to the side, I think if these two buttons are not, if the shortcuts in vMix are not, if there's no Stinger 1 and Stinger 2 identified, that's what I'm trying to say. Hey, Michael, glad you're here. That it'll just act as a fade as well. And then fade to black here, of course, is fade to black. Where is that? Fade to black. There we go, fade to black right there. And then a cut is a cut. And an auto, let's see our auto button. Auto right here is set to whatever transition 1 is. And that would be set with these buttons right here. So pretty cool there. And then what about the T-bar? The T-bar is set to that fader. And then these are our two volumes. Fader, set volume. Yeah, that changed itself because it was assigned to an input number and not to my audio. So now that'll work right on my audio again. Set master volume, we don't have to do that. The master is a given. But if we go back here, now I can use this and control my audio 5, 4, 3, 3, 4, 5. There we go. And maybe set up one of these as a mute button for the same thing. Now, the joystick controller, yeah, Mike says there's a MIDI control file for this controller. And I've used that. And they're actually two versions of the MIDI controller, and both of those want to sort of take over your vMix and make it do other things. For example, for me, it reset a lot of my preferences in vMix. It reset my stream. It reset my record destination. So a little caution on using those presets unless you're going to start in kind of a blank configuration with vMix, not having set up any of your streams or records or anything like that. Because that's part of the configuration, not just the shortcuts, but kind of the operating rules under which vMix operates. So for example, down here in the bottom left-hand corner, we're at 1080p 5997, and I think the configuration file that came with this keyboard changed it to 1080p 2997. Not a problem, but you just know if it's going to change one thing, it may change some other things that you just simply don't know about. So that's what we have to be careful about a little bit. And then the unknowns, you know, the things that don't work the way I think they should be. So Michael's asking late in, but remembering the last show, can the channel be changed so it can work with the TYST replay controller? The new version of the replay controller, let's see, let me put myself in preview here. There we go. And I'll put myself in program. The new version of this TYST replay controller, which is the REW, where do they get REW? Like rewind, I guess. REW 680 Pro. It's actually a different, I think it's a different brand, a different OEM guy on that keyboard. I think it's a SandKeys because it identifies in the vMix MIDI utility, the MIDI selection screen, as a SandKeys. And the keys on that keyboard are hardwired to certain channels. And I know channel 6 is a channel that replay controller uses, and also this replay controller uses channel 6. So there's a conflict there. And unless you're just not going to use channel 6 for anything, which eliminates a lot of the keys that you would use, I guess there are workarounds, but it would take some time to really develop a workaround. And then, the unknowns. What happens with the unknowns? Don't know. So I wasn't about to go there on behalf of a client. I might go there, as an experiment, like we're doing today, but not going to go there on behalf of a client. This is fun to play with this, and if it fails today, no big deal. But yeah, I'm not going to put a client in that position. But we're very confident on the preview. We're very confident on the program. We're very confident on this menus here, the transition effects, the DSK, and its relationship to the DSK row right here. I'm not confident in at all. The program and master volumes are great. I've got the program not set to whatever's in program, but set to this particular mic. And so, that basically just gives me control over one mic. All these buttons I'm good with. These buttons I'm good with. T-bar I'm good with. Let's play a little bit with this. Play a little bit with this guy right here and see what we can do with this guy. Currently, let me put a camera in preview. I'm going to put this same camera right here in preview and see if anything. The way the shortcuts are set up, let's go back to this for just a second. And so we'll go into shortcuts, and we're just going to scream all the way down to the bottom where the PTZ shortcuts are. And let's go ahead and assign these specifically to a camera. So let's assign these to the NDI P120 cam, and I'll show you what that is. This is the left and the right. Which one was that? That was number 5. Okay. There we go. It says pressure enabled. That's interesting. Did the last one have that? Yes, pressure enabled. So we'll just keep in mind to see if that means anything. Probably has to do with the speed of it. So we'll go move up. And that's going to be number 5. We probably ought to experiment before we change them all. So let's see. PTZ home. PTZ move stop. That's what we want. It's already that one. And so let's see if we can do that. Number 5 we'll put here in preview. And that's just looking at the work surface on the other side of the. And so we'll see if we can go left. Nope. Up. Nope. Down. Nope. Right. Nope. Zoom in. Zoom out. Nope. And it does, the home key does work. Now it was in preview. Let's go back to settings and see. PTZ home was set to preview. And that is just simply note 103, no pressure notes, no values. And let's check the zoom in and zoom out for a second. That's pressure enabled. And that's a joystick zoom in A, key control. So it looks like we know what certain joystick controls are. So we've got down A, down B. So we have choice of two different. All right, that's interesting. All right, so we'll leave that on A for a second. And it's on zoom in preview. Let's change it to our NDI camera. And let's see if we get a zoom in. Let me go back. Let me go back here. Or we can go back here. There we go. So we'll do a zoom in. Oh, well, it would be nice to be able to see if that camera would do it. So that's the camera right there, and it's not budging. It will do a home. So if I go into this camera in vMix, and let's just go ahead and move it somewhere. And that's not a good place to move it. Let's move it there. Yeah, it's just looking down. It's a ceiling mount. Yep. All right. So we got that there. And now we can make it go back home. And again, we're looking at this one right there. Can you see that one right down? Whoops. Down. Where am I? Come on, Tom. You can do it. There we go. Right down there. Right down there, where the cursor is. So we're just going to hit this key and watch and see if that camera does anything. It doesn't. It doesn't go home now. Let's put it in preview and see if we can make it go home. It does. Go back to settings, shortcuts, down to the list for the zoomer, zoom home. Oh, well, zoom home was still set up for preview. Let's set it up for this camera, number 5, and see if that makes a difference. So let's move the camera. That's good. That's all we need, just to move it somewhere out of the way. We'll come back to our keyboard here, and we'll see if we go home. We'll, again, watch the screen right there. Okay, so we're making a little progress. So now we can make, oh, there are our joysticks. Okay, good, good, good. So we can make the, do we have the home on here? We don't have home on here. It's not as a joystick. Let's see what it is. All right, PTZ home, 103, home. And we've named it PTZ's home, so that doesn't have anything to do with anything. That's just something somebody's done. And it's a MIDI note on channel 1, note 103, value 127. Let's see if that changes to this one. This is a key control. Okay, so there's a difference between key control and MIDI note on. That's why we could see on a joystick our key controls. Don't think any of these. Yeah, that has all of them. Yep. All right. So where are we here? This is joystick Z, stop A. And that is a name that we've given it. Let's go back into here. No, joystick Z, stop A is not a name we gave it. It's something we chose off the list. So how do we assign our joysticks? We've got joystick B and joystick A, and then joystick pad and then a bunch of other things to do with. So it's right down at the bottom of the list of keyboard type things. So let's go here. Let's just check here for a second. MIDI control, MIDI note on, MIDI note off, MIDI control change. Okay. So we don't have a joystick home button. We got some nice Stream Deck buttons. All right. Well, I have to do some research here and see how the joysticks respond to this. I mean, it shouldn't matter whether you put it in preview or not, but apparently it does. So let's put the P120 in preview, and we'll see if it makes any impact whatsoever. Focusing in and out, going to home. Nah. It doesn't seem to matter. So let's just check the camera for a second. Is there anything in the camera we need to set up? PTZ is already connected here. What if we were to connect it to something else? Virtual PTZ? Don't think so. Panasonic PTZ Optics, UDP, Sony CGI PTZ, Sonovisco over IP is what we know works. Test PTZ. Let's just set it up as a test. Will it connect? Will it operate? Won't operate here, but will it operate here? Nope. Nope. All right. So we have, let's go back. Disconnect. Sony Visco over IP, connect. There we go. We're good there. So we can move the camera. Yes. So what we've learned is that the DSK row and the controls for that are unreliable. They have unknown results for some reason. And the PTZ control, Bill Connor says, move the camera to preview and control it while it's in preview. Yeah, that doesn't work. We can try again. Let's see. Let's go to number 11 here, and this is the camera in preview. And so you can see me down here. I'm going to move the camera in preview. Doesn't do anything. The only thing that works is the button on the top, and that takes it back to the home position. So we're getting some movement, but the button on the top is a MIDI control button. We'll go back into that again. Maybe Bill can help me understand this better. The button on the top, come down here, right there. That button on the top for home is a MIDI note. All of these others are joystick control functions. So we've got a whole list of them. What if we took off pressure enabled? Would that do anything? Let's don't do it with that one. Let's do it with the move left. We'll take off pressure enabled and set it with a value of 1. That's move left. Ready? Left. Left, right, up, down. Doesn't matter. Not going to do anything. Well, that's all right. That's all right. Now we know. Now we know the limitations. Is the PTZ controller needs some work on my part to figure out how to make it move, to somehow make vMix, make the camera and the control in vMix connect. And right now, for some reason, they're not connecting. I'll have to do some research on that. And then problem number 2, again, is our downstream keyer row with the selections on that. All right. Dave has some good explanations here. Have you checked the iSAN keys file to see how it's configured? This is actually the iSAN keys shortcut file that I'm starting with, Dave. And so these are the ones that came in. No, I checked that. Check that. This is the TYST controls. Now, if this is an iSAN keys system, this keyboard, then that would be interesting to see. Let's see. Can we go there? Yeah, there we go. So this particular keyboard is using the shortcuts that came with it, and I think I had loaded the configuration file on here too, and then went in and modified it back to the way I wanted it in terms of all the settings that it changed. I agree, Bill. It does make sense that the adjusting camera should be in preview, whatever it is, and that way it is the camera that is selected. Set the shortcut to zoom and preview. Yeah, I think that's where it already is. Let's just take a look at that. So we'll go here. We'll go shortcuts. We'll come down here. We've got zoom. I've got zoom in. So let's change that back to preview. Preview. There we go. So we've got, so our zoom in, zoom out, and zoom stop are all now set to preview. So let's go ahead and move the camera into preview. There it is. And we'll zoom out. No joy. Zoom in, no joy. Let's make sure the camera is set up to zoom. Yep, should zoom just fine. Zoom in, zoom out. Let's zoom in so we can see if it will zoom out. So we'll come back to the camera. Zoom in, no. Zoom out, no. No movement. And it will go back to the home position. That's the only thing it'll reliably do. So the fact that I'm responding to Bill's comment that says seems like when you're using the multiple PTZ cameras, the adjusting camera in preview would be logical. And I would agree with that, except, bear with me here for just a second. We'll look at these shortcuts. In fact, we're just going to go to the joystick section right here because these are our joystick connections. And we can see that here we have joystick left. That's the function. And then A specifies the camera. Seems to me that let's try something here. We're going to go back to all for a second, and we'll go all the way back down to the bottom, and we're going to find, and let's just find out what this, can I move this guy out of the way for just a second? Hold on. Yeah, we're going to find out what vMix sees this movement as. So find, move left, and it sees 119 and 124 is the resting position. So 119 to the left, 124 to the right. So let's try those for a second. So moving left, oh golly, now I forgot what they were. 119, 124. So we're going to go move left is now, well, we'll just find it. Yeah, there we go. Find. We'll go all the way over to 20. Yep. Type is jog wheel. Nope. Move left. Okay. And the camera would move left forever unless we didn't do a move stop. So let's do a move stop right here. Find. There's the move. There's the stop. That's right there. Function is PTZ move stop. And let's see if, and let's change these back to preview. Let's just change these back to preview. And that'll make it work the way Bill wants it to work. So move left is going to be back in preview. So we're only doing left at this point. So we've modified two shortcuts, a move left that now is a different MIDI channel, or excuse me, MIDI note. We've got move left and we've got move stop, which is a different one. So we're going to say OK, and let's put that camera in preview. And so now we're going to do a move left. There we go. It just didn't like those buttons. I mean, didn't like those controls. Now I have no other control. Well, I guess I've got I've got the home control. So now that we've got that, and that's going to work for any camera in preview, I believe. So let's take this camera for a second and see if we can move it left. Yep. Won't move right. And it doesn't want to come back to the home position. Let's go back here. Shortcuts. We'll go to the joystick shortcuts. So we got move up, move down, move right, move up are set to those. So let's set those back to, this is joystick right. So we'll find it. There it is right there. And we're going to assign it to preview again. So let's get it all set up for one camera. Why don't we? This is joystick down. So we're going to go there. And did we get that? Joystick, no. Let's see, move up, joystick up. Oh, I know, because these move out of this section. Whenever I save this, it won't be under joystick anymore. So if we save it, it takes it off the list. Oh, that's good. So now we know this is up left. Do we have a button for up left? We do. 21 is up. 19 is left. 22 is right there, is up left. Okay. Down left. Okay. Up right. 120 is going to be our terminal velocity on this. Cameras are beginning to move now. Down right. Zoom out. Let's see, that's going to be left. Zoom in. And zoom stop. All right. So now we have to go back to this all section, down to the bottom, I think. Let's see, are they still in the bottom? Yeah, there they are. And so we've got 19, 20, 21, 16, 22. Oh, we've got two 20s, two 120s. Move up right and move right. so let's double check these. MIDI control change is 20, 120. Okay. And upright is going to be where is our sweet spot there? All right, so 21 is upright. 21 is up. 20 is right. And upright. Let's make it 96. Does that get us in a better spot? Oh, and PTZ home. That's why PTZ home didn't work a minute ago, because we didn't have it set on preview. All right, so we're, oops, there was one shortcut hanging out that still was assigned to the camera right there. Move up. It's a MIDI note, but we forgot to change the camera to preview. Okay, I think we've got most of them. So we've got this camera in preview, so we're going to see if we can focus in, and we can. And we stop, and we can go back out. We can go up and stop, down. And the harder I press it, the faster it goes. That's what we want. This is not a bad little keyboard here. All right, left, up, right. Yeah, that's too fast, but that's okay. Down, right, down, left. Okay, now let's move this camera into preview. And let's see if we can go up, which is really down. Yeah, good. That's as far as it's going to go. We'll zoom in on, I guess, the trash can. And let's go around. Let's see what we can see there. There's a trash can. We'll go back the other way. And we get a little bit of the desktop, and we're back to the trash can again. So, yeah. All right. I don't know what all this stuff is. Let's see if we can get rid of it there. Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. All right, so now we've got a clean shot. Let's save all this, by the way. So I have one joystick, and it will work for all cameras. Let's see if it'll work for this camera. Where is it? Right here. This is my main camera. So it's now in preview. Can we zoom in? Sure can. Look at there. Look at there. So you don't want to move a camera while it's in program anyway. So, and you don't have presets in this case, and you've got 4 buttons that you can use over here that I guess could be preset buttons. This would be a good spot right here to put some more preset buttons. Yeah, I'm not doing that. Pirate maybe an X keys and put those in here. Doesn't mean you can't hook up another, a Stream Deck or an X keys or something like that, and maybe, maybe do that. But this would allow you to fine tune whatever's in preview, whatever camera is in preview, including this camera right here. Here we go. Now we're ready to go live. Okay. Well, all righty. All righty then. Bill says, workflow is called camera to preview, move the PTZ, then go live. Agreed. Dave says PTZ cameras are all, PCC commands are all MIDI. Dave says the I-SAN keys is all MIDI commands, no joystick labeled items like you have. Interesting. So where did these come from? They were in the batch. They were in the kit. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Well, now we've got this little guy pretty much right where we want him. We've got preview. We've got program. We've got menu. We've got trans effects. We've got our transitions, our sliders, our user, our T-board, and our joystick. The shift buttons obviously are hardwired into this device somehow and allows these three rows to change. Shift, shift, shift. Different colors, as they should be. But something happens to this button. Yeah. Wonder what the shift. Let's look at that just one second. Maybe we can get this figured out. Let's go to shortcuts, find. All right, we're in shift mode. Let's go. Oh, sorry. You can't see me, can you? Let's go 11. There we go. All right. Now we'll go into shortcuts. We'll find. Well, we've got the shift button on. Oh, it does know what the shift button is. Shift button is 66, that button is 79, that button is 92. So the shift button, staying on. All right, well, let's find if, is there a 66 in here? I don't think there is in any note. I'm probably zooming right over it, but let's just see. There's a 67. 80 through 87, 88, 89. Okay, those are your 12 rows. Active input. So 67, yeah, it's not a shortcut. It's a function button. Is there anything that happens here when we do a find? No. It's not going to be surface. It's not going to be MIDI. Well, it is going to be MIDI. Not going to be keyboard. So we find that one right there, and it's number 66. So if we leave it in the on position and we do a find, that is number 105. That's number 106. Channel 4, 106 is this button right here, which comes on when the shift is there. So 106, cancel. 105, so it's going to be 106 right here, and 101 right there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 is number 12. So 5, and this one, 106 right here, happens. But that doesn't explain why the shift key gets automatically triggered. So we're going here, and the shift key gets automatically triggered to take us there. Well, let's find this button. Channel 4, 105. Channel 4. Channel 4, 105. Six. Channel 4, 106. It's right there. Don't know. I have to ponder that one for a while. Well, you guys are really sweet to hang around this long. Woo, way long. I did make a button on the keyboard right here for the outro. So where are we here? Let's go here. So I made a keyboard for the outro. So I'm signing off. I will see you. I won't see you next week because it's 4th of July week and I'm going on holiday. But I'll post a little something to remind you. But we'll be back after that. And we'll get to show off our new custom computer cases that should be arriving momentarily. Yeah. Appreciate you guys. Take care.